The theme of this year's Austrian World Summit is "We are unstoppable."
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't feel unstoppable right now. They feel
That's,
exhausted. So as you are there and you're going to be interviewing, right? The governor, are you speaking with him, right? You
yes.
guys are doing something together. So then
Yeah.
what's your case for hope then?
I believe that when we feel powerless, we are powerless. And when we feel powerful, we are powerful.
Mm.
And I believe we are powerful. And I believe, Don, I really truly believe this. We each have light inside of us. And we need to know that that is what inspires our hope as much as anything external to ourselves. And when we feel that and not allow an election or an individual to dampen that light, um, and instead let that light kind of carry us in particular through moments of darkness, that we not only act on that hope, but we inspire that hope in each other. And in particular at this moment, it is so important that we not only have hope, but that we understand that that should be a verb, which means that hope has to go hand in hand with action. And that action includes the overcoming the obstacles they're trying to throw in front of us in terms of access to the ballot. That hope combined with the action will result in us winning the midterms. That hope combined with action will allow us to celebrate Juneteenth in all of the traditions that involve good food and dance and laughter and family and community. And that we will also understand that that hope is consistent with a commitment to the fight for equality and for freedom and for.
Yo, I don't know who thought that it was a great idea to make her the poster child or to even have her run as president of the United States. But to even think that she can get that close. Like, I get Obama, right? I get Obama being able to sell and push hope. That was the thing that comes along with really being a great orator. And regardless of whether or not we actually think that he did a good job or we did a bad job, or if he ushered in and promoted the alphabet community more and championed them or gave us Obamacare and it was a disaster, whatever you think it was, right? We have to agree that Obama was able to sell hope much better than Kamala Harris. What I am watching and witnessing in real time right now is a disaster of a person that has no level of inspiration. It's the only thing that the Democratic Party had, right? The Democratic Party could only sell you on the possibility of what if and hope. There's a possibility of things that, like, they can sell that, and they've been selling it to the cold. They don't even have to sell it to black people, to be honest with you, because black people gonna vote the same way regardless. We already seen the stats with regard to that. But when it comes to looking for candidates or people that don't give you word salad, but more importantly, gives you some sense of pride and you know what? I do believe that this is something that we can win. I would love to do a round two of watching and witnessing Kamala Harris squirm around different conversations and try to interview with somebody that authentically asks her questions in a not so safe space, like they tried to edit out the interview with 60 Minutes and Trump actually had their head, which is one of the reasons why Scott is complaining and Barry Wise is up there having a way up in CNN. But the fact of the matter is that this is a disaster. This woman, it is crazy. Don't matter how much you polish her up, no matter what kind of pantsuits you put on her, no matter how many books that she wrote with Chat GBT. The fact of the matter is this, is that this is word salad that we miss. And if we can get this in a round two for 2028, that would be the biggest blessing that anybody can give to Republicans so we can finish the work that Donald Trump has already started and he's continuing to be successful at as far as making this country great again. This is the funniest thing that I've ever heard in my entire sense of commitment. What is he talking about?
Justice.
This episode is sponsored by Better.
Let me fast forward this real quick.
People are looking for the fight, and you have the fight in you. I want to ask you, if you were writing And right now, the only people I believe fighting for our democracy in this country, I believe it's the Democratic Party. So if you're writing a strategy memo for for Democrats right now, based on what you just said, what would you tell them to stop doing immediately or start doing immediately?
You got some time? I think
Look, I have as much time as you have. I'm like worried that I've gone over my time, but I mean, I love having these conversations with.
Translation, I don't really have an answer, but I'm trying to buy myself some time to be able to think of something that I could say that's meaningful. And, it's more important to joke than it is to actually provide solutions. They have no solutions, bro.
And I do love, there's a certain, if I can be honest, there's a certain freedom that you have now, like a weight has been lifted. Like you are, not that you didn't tell your truth before, but in those 107 days, there was so much crammed into that. We can talk about that all day, but that's a lot of pressure to be under. And right now, I just feel that you have a freedom to be able to express yourself. Very similarly to the former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, because when people meet Hillary Clinton behind the scenes, they're like, I say, well, where was that Hillary Clinton? Like, oh, she's so warm, and you're so warm right now. But
So
that
trash.
warmth that you exude behind the scenes, I now see that when you're on camera doing an interview. And so that's why I think, hey, go ahead and answer these questions for as long as you want, because I think that what you're saying now, you're speaking important truth. So what would you tell the Democratic Party to start doing, stop doing? Do they talk too much about Donald Trump? What?
He's trying to guide her through these
I
questions.
I'm not going to scold or anything like that. Listen, I think that what the American people want from their leaders, and I'll speak as a Democrat about Democrats, is that we have an ability to have a vision in which everyone can see themselves. And
What?
and that vision has to start with today and tomorrow. That vision has to be about what are we going to do and how are we going to implement a strategy that is about delivering for the people and not just about process all the time. I think part of the problem is, and I say this as a lifelong public servant, and part of the issue that we need to deal with is that we have gotten so caught up in process that we are not focused on progress.
Hmm.
And
I can't deal
that
with it, bro.
we need to admit that there are certain
It's like watching
systems that
paint
have
dry.
been failing for a
It's not a
long
good
time,
thing.
whether under Democratic or Republican leadership. And let's just be honest with folks, because it's not like we're covering it up. People can see it. And so, let's be honest and then start, really thinking about how are we going to require ourselves to focus on
How are we
getting
going to
stuff
require
done, but with a
ourselves to
certain level of speed,
What?
dare I say.
Mhm.
And and it has to be about also recognizing and all of us agreeing that we aren't going to be able to solve all of the challenges that we have immediately, and we're going to have to be, however, bold about being willing to maybe not be safe around what we need to do to change an aspect of the structure. And that
What
includes,
do
for
you mean?
example, the conversation that we just had about the Supreme Court, the
Yeah,
conversation that
yeah.
we just had about the Electoral College, about saying, how do we have a plan that's about pushing for statehood if for the people of Puerto Rico, if they want it, for the people of DC. It means understanding that, you got to be sometimes willing to fight fire with fire. And
Hmm.
that just might be something that makes you uncomfortable, and if you're not comfortable with that, maybe you should look for another job for right now.
Listen, I'm looking forward to her running for president in 2028. I think it would be a hoot of a time, and it would be a guaranteed win for Republicans. Let me know what y'all think about this word salad inside of the chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. I love y'all. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.